Hi, I'm Karen, and I'm trying once again to do a video for GoFundMe that doesn't have as many mistakes in it. Okay, I am here in my plant room. You can see the tomato plant behind me, and you can see the avocado tree. I'm trying to save my home from Wells Fargo and my garden because I can eat out of my garden in the summer, and in the winter I can get quite a lot of things from my plant room, from the tomatoes and things in here. So plus I have solar. So my ability to live here on a little over $700 a month Social Security, it's great. If Wells Fargo takes my home and Warren Buffett profits on it, then I don't know what's going to happen, to tell you the truth. I'm not very well. I had a condo that was built over a full outdoor toilet pit. The builder didn't bother to, empty it and put concrete in the way you should have. And I had hydrogen sulfide inside, which I didn't know, except that I kept falling, bumping into doorways, and I couldn't remember anything. So when there was a loud bang under the floor, I called around, and a man at the environmental part of New Mexico's government said, you need to get a air quality person in to test. So I did that, and there was hydrogen sulfide inside, which explained why I fell. I couldn't feel, my extremities. Like if you have diabetes, I don't. But the hydrogen sulfide damages your nerves. So I fell and hit my head on the brick floor, and I actually have a traumatic brain injury, but I'm much better because I use B12. In fact, you may know me from my B12 website, Health Boundaries. I started it over 2 decades, well, not over, 2 decades ago. And I've had 5 million visitors to my site, or maybe that's 5 million page views. I'm not being as accurate as I should. I think it's page views, because I think some people, well, obviously some people read more than one page. Okay, so Wells Fargo. Okay, in 1996, going back to understand why I'm in foreclosure, I was a real estate agent, and I was really quite good. I'm honest, and I used to be especially good at explaining to people things in language that made it easy to understand. So I did quite well, but then IRS put me out of business, collecting a year, enforcing for a year I'd paid. And U.S. News and World Report checked my story, and then they used my experience in an article they ran on IRS abuse of taxpayers. Now, I know many Americans have suffered this, so if you're one of them, you have my sympathy, because it sure takes a bite out of your life. So at that point, I did a Chapter 11 to reorganize. I had my little condo. I had this home, which I bought so that my son could come from London and live here. He was young at the time, and the condo was 600 square feet, so I needed something bigger with 2 bedrooms, and I bought this home. And then when he didn't want to stay, he didn't like Santa Fe in comparison to London. I mean, you can imagine the difference. It made me very sad that he wasn't here anymore, so I would, associate the home with what I expected, with what I hoped, and then every day it made me cry. So I'd be at work and I'd think, well, I can't be crying at work, so I'd go home and cry for an hour, then go, fix my makeup and go back to work. So I had these 3 homes, and then so then I bought another little house so that I could move from here, and then I rented this one, but I can't remember. I had this brain injury. Okay, so anyway, I did a Chapter 11, which there were foreclosures at that point, and I did the Chapter 11 and paid everything off, had a confirmed plan. And in that, I learned, it was clear that GE Capital had the actual original note on this home. Okay, so in 2008, when Wells Fargo filed foreclosure, because of the privy pit under the house, I had it dug out. Dear. Okay, so anyway, Wells Fargo filed foreclosure, but it did not serve me. Due process is you must serve, but they didn't. So they sent someone over 30 days later to seize my house, to drill into the locks and seize the house. Well, I'm housebound. So here I was, and I heard them, messing around with the doorknob. I opened the door, and he was just about to drill into the lock, and I stopped him. So then I began fighting the foreclosure strenuously, and I objected to the fact they didn't serve me, but the court was like, well, you know about it now, so it doesn't matter, which is irritating because look at how many homes of people the banks have taken using fraud. I have a website called Looking Good, and I did a series of angel pictures, angels being an image for our subconscious, our collective conscious. And one of the articles I found had a study that showed that 86% of the foreclosures had irregularities like fraud or something like that. So Wells Fargo, I would like to stop them from taking my home, but they got a foreclosure decree now. And I need to appeal that. The lawyer I had, he charged me a lot of money to do an answer to their amended complaint, but then he didn't file it in time. So Wells Fargo asked the court to strike it because it wasn't filed in time, and the court did. So I lost all my affirmative defenses. I lost my counterclaim, and he said, well, it really doesn't matter. We'll fight it at the trial. But at the trial, he really was lackluster. And the judge has not, that anyone knows of, decided for a homeowner. So it can't be all my lawyer's fault. I just wish my lawyer had put up a more noticeable defense of me. Okay, so the point is I now need $5,000 for a retainer to hire an appeals lawyer. Please help me save my garden and my plant room and my plants, my tomato, my, let me see if I can get this out of the sun, my avocado. Isn't it beautiful? Okay, please help me and donate like $5 or $1 if you can. I would sure appreciate it. But also I would love for you to pray that it works, that I get to stay in my home. Thank you so much. Bye.